The autumn wind swept through the cobbled streets, carrying with it the vibrant hues of fallen leaves, scarlet, gold, and brown. On the porch of a small wooden house at the end of the street, Eleanor sat quietly, a faded woolen blanket draped over her frail legs, her hands folded loosely in her lap. She had grown used to these kinds of afternoons, long, lingering hours where nothing seemed to happen, yet everything inside her stirred and shifted. It was just her, the memories, and the endless parade of footsteps passing by. From her seat, she could see the entire street, the slow drift of life unfolding in small, unremarkable ways. But to Eleanor, each passerby was no longer just a stranger. They were doorways, windows into the corridors of her past. A boy of about 10 sprinted past, his laughter slicing the crisp air like a bell. Eleanor blinked, and suddenly the present dissolved. She saw herself and William, as children, running hand in hand through vast open fields. William always ran faster, but he would stop ahead, turning back with a mischievous grin, holding out his hand. "Come on, Ellie, we've got treasures to find." She had believed then, in that naive, golden-hearted way only children can, that as long as she followed him, the world would unfold its miracles at their feet. Eleanor blinked again, and the world righted itself. Inside, the old grandfather clock ticked softly, the sound steady, unhurried, a reminder that time, while gentle, never ceased its onward march. A young woman in her 20s walked by, her dress fluttering lightly in the breeze, a small handbag swinging from her arm, her hair catching the light like spun silk. A tightness formed in Eleanor's chest. She remembered herself at that age, 19, wearing a simple handmade dress, standing nervously outside the old movie theater, waiting for William. He had arrived late, breathless, cheeks flushed, but not empty-handed. In his fist, he held a crumpled wildflower. "For you, Ellie," he had said, shy and proud all at once. It was then she knew. Whatever dreams she might chase, however far the world might stretch, it would all mean nothing without William beside her. A stronger gust rattled the porch. Eleanor pulled the blanket tighter, breathing in the familiar scents of autumn, wet leaves, damp wood, the faint sharpness of the coming winter. A couple in their 30s strolled past, hands intertwined, heads inclined toward each other in soft conversation. Eleanor watched them, a mixture of yearning and tenderness pooling in her heart. She recalled those early married years, when she and William had lived in a cramped second-story apartment, struggling to make ends meet. The radiator clanked and sputtered through the long winters, and they would wrap themselves in patchwork quilts, trading whispered dreams about a little house, a garden, maybe even children laughing under the sun. Not all dreams came true. Life, Eleanor had learned, was not a straight path, but a labyrinth of detours and losses. There had been miscarriages. There had been money worries. There had been nights when they lay back to back, too tired or too hurt to speak. But always, always, there was William, his steady presence, his warm hand reaching for hers in the dark. And so she stayed. They stayed. Together. Further down the street, an older couple appeared, 50, maybe 60, walking arm in arm. Their steps were slow, but their pace matched perfectly, as if their bodies had spent a lifetime learning the same rhythm. Eleanor's throat tightened. She remembered the later years, when William's hair had gone silver, when he shuffled rather than walked, when his breath grew shallow even at rest. She remembered the hospital room, pale blue curtains drawn against a sterile sky. William lying too still, his hand cold but still gripping hers with stubborn strength. "Ellie," he had rasped, his voice thin and worn. "I'm sorry, I can't walk with you to the very end." "You already have," she had whispered back, and pressed his hand to her lips. "Some things time cannot steal. Some things endure even when the body falters." The street lights flickered on, casting long golden shadows across the sidewalk, spilling their light over Eleanor's deeply lined face. She felt herself drifting, not through space, but through the corridors of time. Each memory vivid, palpable. William laughing under the summer sun. William crying at their wedding. William sleeping beside her, with his arm flung protectively across her waist. Eleanor was not afraid of death. She had made peace with its inevitability long ago. What she feared was forgetting. That the tenderness, the hopes, the tiny incandescent joys they had shared would vanish into the mist, unremembered. But sitting here, watching the parade of strangers, seeing the echoes of her own life mirrored in every passerby, she realized love never disappears. It only transforms. It lives on in a smile between two young lovers, in the hand reaching out to steady an old friend, in the laughter of a child chasing autumn leaves. The wind stirred again. Eleanor closed her eyes, and in the rustling, she heard it. William's voice, clear and strong, as if no time had passed at all. "Ellie, it's time. Come with me." A small, serene smile crept across her lips. There was no fear, no sadness, only a long-awaited peace. The rocking chair creaked once, twice, then slowed. When a neighbor finally noticed her there, Eleanor seemed merely to be napping, her face illuminated by the soft glow of the street lamps, her hands resting lightly together. She had crossed the distance between longing and belonging. She had gone home. Somewhere beyond the rustling trees and the waning light, William was waiting. Hand outstretched, smile wide, ready, at last, to walk the rest of the way together. Forever.